Hello, this is Becca from Willow Hill Designs. Welcome to my channel, and thank you very much to my new subscribers. I appreciate that, and to my regular subscribers, and thank you for the very awesome and sweet comments that you leave. I enjoy reading all of them. You're all very much appreciated. And today I'll be sharing my progress on the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 5, for the March prompt, which is a Huswif. And I showed in my last video this is the outer fabric for my Huswif, and I've chosen 1930s fabrics. This will be for my granddaughter. And I haven't done any stitching on this where the folds may end up, because I thought I'll work on the lining first and see exactly if that coincides with where I think these folds should be. And this is just a friction pen, so this can be ironed away. So that's the outside, and it has a batting. This is 80-20, 80 cotton and 20 polyester batting on the inside of it. And so this is the lining that I have been working on that will go on the Huswif. I'll just move this out of the way a little bit if I can. And I better, there. Okay, and here is the Huswif lining. And I have begun placing elements where I would like them to go. And so I'll start down here at the bottom. At the very bottom, I have added a little patch of wool felt. And this is for her needles, if she'd like to put needles in here. And I've just stitched a running stitch around this little patch and a blanket stitch at the bottom, and in a color that I thought was kind of pretty, and it matches the flowers in this background or lining fabric. And then next I have the little wool pin cushion that I'd like to add to her Huswif, and this is just two pieces of wool, pink wool that I had. And I just traced a circle on this and did a little bit of stitching around the in the inside. And I will be putting a button on there, on this little pin cushion, and so it will look like that when it's on the Huswif. And the way that I was able to get this circle was that I used one of these Mylar circles by Karen K. Buckley, and I just traced it on the wool, and then I cut out around the circle with my pinking shears. And these circles are very nice. They come in many different sizes. They're by Karen K. Buckley. These are the bigger perfect circles, and so there's some large circles going down to smaller ones in here. And I used that to cut out the wool. And then I used some of her smaller circles for the little batting that I will be putting on the inside of the pin cushion. And these are Perfect Circles by Karen K. Buckley. And these come on a little ring, and they come in graduated sizes, and you can just choose what size you'd like for your project. And so what I did here was I took some of that same batting that will be in the main Huswif, and I took these circles and I just traced the circle, onto the batting. And then I just kept going down in size to the smaller circles. I think I did 2 of that size, and then I did a smaller one, traced a smaller one on, and then went down to very small, kind of like a little stack of pancakes or something here. And I thought that rather than stuff the little pin cushion and have it be like a mound, I wanted it to be, have a little bit more of a graduated mound to it than a big puffy mound. So what I will do is, I didn't put any of the smaller circles on the back side because that'll be up against the lining. And so I thought that, the top part can be the mounded part. So what I'll do is just go around these edges and stitch with a running stitch around the edge to join this little pin cushion together. And then lastly, I'll put the button in the center and draw that up so that there's a little bit of an indentation there. And she should be able to just put her pins in like this so that they're not sticking up and she can't close her little Huswif unless she's working on something and she wants to just stick them in like that. But otherwise she can put them in like this and leave them right in there with her little pin cushion. So that is the pin cushion that I planned for this area, and the little batting mounds that I'm going to put under there just to give it a nice cushion. So that's the pin cushion, and then moving up here, I have a little circular pocket, and that is for her tape measure, and that'll just pop right in there. But I'm just noticing this looks crooked to me. I think that's crooked. I'm going to have to take that off and redo it. I'll have to take all that stitching out and redo that. But for that one, I used one of these larger circles. I used a very large circle, and I had to use her little kitty fabric. And so I just put the circle on the fabric and left a portion of the template off the fabric, and then traced around what I thought how deep I wanted the pocket, and I used the little tape measure kind of as a guide. And I didn't trace the full circle on because I was going to fold this edge under, this top edge of the pocket. And then what I did was, when I did draw the original circle, I took my smaller circle and I just traced on the wrong side of the fabric with a friction pen this smaller circle to give me a seam allowance. And to show you on something like this, I don't think this is the right size circle, but this could work. So what I would do is I would, with this little circle, the fabric circle and the mylar circle on my wool mat, I would spray some starch on this, some Mary Ellen's Best Press on here, just on the seam allowance. And then I would just take my iron and just fold this over and press, fold this over and press, and just keep going all the way around the circle until all of these edges were folded up. And it gave me a nice clean edge. Again, on this, I'm not doing raw edges because my granddaughter, I'm sure, children are a little bit rough on things and it may get frayed. So this is what it looks like with the edges of the circle just pressed under with some starch. And using that little template here, I put a piece of fusible interfacing just to hold down that edge that I turned under. I only turned this edge under once. And so I just put a little fusible interfacing to give that some strength for when she's putting things in and out of this little pocket. And this little pocket will go up here, and I'll stitch around this one. But getting back to this little pocket here, I put some lace on this, and yeah, that's definitely crooked. I can see that. I'll have to fix that. But the little tape measure pops in there nicely. And the way that I did that was to pin one side put the tape measure in and then bring this side over. I didn't lay it flat like this little circle here. I would bring the edge in a bit so that it was kind of rounded up like that, creating a little pocket. And any fullness that might occur in here can be eased in with your hand stitching. I just did like a little invisible or applique stitch along the bottom here, and that eased in any fullness for leaving this pocket up off of the surface. And then I just did a little running stitch here with pearl cotton and ivory pearl cotton, and this lace is all stitched down, so I have to take all that out. Oh gosh, can you hear my heart breaking? Oh gosh, yeah, I didn't realize that was crooked. Will she notice that? Well, I will. Anyway, so the next little pocket is a little rectangle of fabric with the edges turned in, and I just folded this little rectangle, pleated it so that the edges went kind of at an angle, and this will be stitched down by hand as well. And this is for her to add a little thimble in here if she'd like to. She can just drop a little thimble. I ordered her a thimble that is petite. I think that the size small would be a little bit too big, so I ordered a petite. We'll see how that size works out. So that's the tape measure pocket and the thimble. And then moving up, I used this pink fabric, and this is just a rectangle of fabric that was sewn like a tube. These edges here are open, and that'll be all closed up with the binding that is put on the edges. And I laid some lace over the top of this because I thought she would like that. I think that will look very pretty. And I'll stitch this along the bottom here to be attached. So this will be another little pocket. And I was going to stitch in a divider like in half. I was thinking needle books for this pocket, but I think I'll wait until I get the needle books and just see. I might do it 2/3 and 1/3 and stitch a division. I think I'll definitely divide the pockets. So that'll be a cute little pocket for her. And then moving up the Huswif, there is some, I don't know if you can see it, but there is some invisible elastic here, clear. I guess I should say not invisible, but clear. And this is what it looks like. This is a 3/8 inch clear elastic that you would sew in bathing suits and tops or bottoms in the waistband. But I've used this for thread before, and it works out nicely. And I picked a couple of colors that she loves, her pink and purple. And so these just slip in here easily. She can just slip her thread in here, and it should stay securely for her. And I don't know if you can see the clear elastic there, but it should hold them. They shouldn't fall out. And then she can use these as she'd like to. She probably doesn't even have to take them out. She could unwind as she uses them right while they're in there. So there's room for 2 little threads, but she could also probably put another little thread in here if she wanted to. So that's her little thread holders. And then coming on up, I made a little scissors pocket for her, and this is ultra suede. This is a white ultra suede, and just cut a rectangle and folded it so that it would make a little pocket. I stitched the end closed, and then this will be hand stitched down to the lining of the Huswif, and she can store her little scissors in there. And I have these little scissors for her, which I thought were so cute, and they're not for major cutting. out something, although I suppose she could, but just for clipping threads and things, or while she's at her sewing machine. And they just fit in there so nicely. So I thought they were adorable, and this is just the perfect size little pouch. And on there I put a little wool heart. That's the same wool as this pincushion, and I'll stitch this down, and then stitch the little scissors pocket to the Huswif. Then up here we have another little circle pocket. I decided to kind of go with the circle theme here. And this was done the same way with the turned edges. But this one I will probably sew flat to the lining fabric. I don't know. I may give it a little tiny bit of depth so that she can fit something a little more 3D rather than just flat in there. And then I made her what will be a little kind of a flap. And this is the little bunny fabric. And that'll go like this on there, hopefully. I don't know. This is all guessing. I tried to, after I laid the circle on the fabric, I folded the fabric in half because I knew I wanted it doubled for the flap, so it would be finished on the inside as well as the outside. And then I just laid my circle on there and drew around it. And then I took another circle. I don't know if it's, no, it's not this one. Took another circle for the seam allowance, and I just traced around that to give me a kind of an idea of the seam allowance. And then what I did was I laid it next to this pocket and tried to gauge where the pocket ends and tried to make the little flap the same width as the pocket. I don't know if it'll look better to have it wider or not. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. This is all experimental. But what I will do is I will just stitch around on these lines and leave a portion open, whether it's in the center here or maybe off to the side, stitch and maybe leave an opening of 1.5 inches or so, and then stitch, and then I'll turn it right side out so her little flap will fit on here like this. And of course the seam allowance will make it smaller. So she'll have a little, almost like a little change purse type of thing, a little pocket with a flap. So we'll see how that works out. This, I've not done anything like that, so we'll see. This is all experimental. And then up here, I had another little piece of this wool felt, and I just wrote her name on that with a friction pen, and I thought I would embroider her name on here, Jenna. So that'll be up here. And then I had this piece of a square that was folded as a triangle and half diagonally, and I was thinking that I would put a needle threader in there for her. If I had put the triangle this way with the opening at the top, when you close this, the needle threader would fall out. So I turned the triangle on an angle, and I thought if I slipped the needle threader in there, that little pocket, it should be okay. It shouldn't fall out, or maybe it does. But it will be one of those little silver needle threaders, so I think it will probably stay, hopefully. I'll have to experiment with that a little bit and see. So that'll be a little pocket for a needle threader. And so that's it. I did get this stitched down, this portion here. This is ready to be stuffed and stitched. This has to be taken off and straightened out because, yeah, that's definitely crooked. I'll have to draw myself a reference line here. And then the rest of this will all be stitched on. So this is where my little Huswif stands so far, or housewife. however you prefer to say it, sewing kit. But it'll go like this, and it should fold up okay. It should all fold. So hopefully, hopefully that we'll be able to accomplish this. This is the first one I've ever made, so we'll see. We'll see how I think this is the thing I'm most worried about. Not sure about that little flap and how that's going to work out, because I think I have to tuck it under here a tiny bit. So we'll see. I might make that seam allowance a little bit smaller. I may go on the outside of the line. But anyway, so that's where it stands right now. And I thank you for joining me. I'll try to give you a little close-up of everything. Oh, I should turn it so that you don't get dizzy or whatever here. The little pocket for the tape measure and the thimble. A little pocket. And the thread bands. And her little scissors holder. I absolutely love these little scissors. I think they're just perfect. Perfect in there. And another little pocket and her name. So it's coming along, and I will come back when I have a lot more of this done. So thank you for joining me today. Try to get it all, let me move these. Try to get it all in the frame for you in view. That's probably a little bit better. So thank you again for joining me, and I'm wishing you many blessings, and I'll say bye for now.